Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we're going to be providing an update on an exciting company we've covered on the channel previously. The name is Avalon GloboCare, and they just announced some huge news that we're going to talk about in today's presentation. Now before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of Avalon, what you thought about this big news, and how you think they stack up to some of the other players in this space. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on Avalon GloboCare Corporation under the new ticker symbol ALBT on the NASDAQ exchange in the United States. This is as of close on Friday, December 2nd. You can see a fairly strong session, up about 5.5% or 2 cents on the day to close out at 37 cents US. And this is a company we've covered extensively on the channel. It operates in the biotech sector, and there's a ton of things that are going on at this organization that I'm super excited about over the next couple of quarters. Now, in addition to that, they just made a huge acquisition, which we're going to talk about in today's presentation. But before we get into it, I quickly wanted to take a look at the chart here. You can see over the last 6 months, holding up relatively well compared to the broader or overall market. Back at the end of June, we were trading at 41 cents US. Avalon hit a high of 75 cents on August 4th and another high towards the end of September at about 70 cents US. Now, based on this recent pullback, you're able to pick up shares at a fraction of the price you could have only a couple of months ago. And again, considering the growth prospects of this organization, I definitely think this is one you want to put on your watch list and keep a close eye on. Now, with that being said, and for those of you who missed our previous coverage on Avalon GloboCare, I wanted to jump over to the corporate website. I'll leave a link in the video description below if you want to go in and take a closer look for yourself and give you guys a little bit of background as to what this company is all about. So as you can see here, Avalon GloboCare, again under the new ticker symbol ALBT, is a global intelligent biotech developer and healthcare service provider dedicated to advancing cell-based technologies and therapeutics with a focus on developing and empowering innovative and transformative cell-based technologies and their clinical applications. And we've talked about their technology and their IP portfolio extensively in prior videos, you guys. This is cutting-edge biotech development and really leading to a lot of positive change for people that are unfortunately suffering from a lot of these conditions. In addition to all of that, Avalon provides strategic advisory and outsourcing services to facilitate and enhance its clients' growth, development, as well as competitiveness in both the domestic and global healthcare markets. Through its subsidiaries, namely GeneXome Technologies Inc. and Activist Biosciences, Avalon is establishing a leading role in the fields of exosome-based diagnostics, cellular immunotherapy, which includes CAR-T and CAR-NK technology, and regenerative medicine. And the CAR-T technology specifically is something we spent a lot of time on in the past, as this is really revolutionizing the way the medical world thinks about potential treatments. And again, CAR-T stands for chimeric antigen receptor T cells that have been genetically engineered to help with immunotherapy. Now, there's a number of key catalysts that we're going to talk about in relation to Avalon throughout today's presentation, but the huge news that I referenced in the thumbnail, you guys, is really this acquisition that came out on November 8th. So you can see transformational acquisition of a leading laboratory with 2021 unaudited revenues in excess of $25 million. So this is a massive acquisition for the team at Avalon and really sets them up perfectly for further moves down the road. Now, we're going to talk about some of the specifics of the deal as we move into the investor presentation, but before we do, I wanted to take you through the press release here. So Avalon to acquire a majority interest in the company named Laboratory Services MSO, which is a limited liability corporation, a leading reference laboratory, again with 2021 unaudited revenues in excess of $25 million, so immediately accretive, net income in excess of $10 million, and over 600,000 tests that have been completed at their laboratories since inception. Now, the deal is worth approximately $31 million, with about half of that coming from a cash position and the other half through the issuing of shares, and you can see some of the breakdown here. So the total consideration is $31 million, $15 million in cash, and the other $15 million is going to be shares of the company's or Avalon's Series B preferred stock, with $1 million payable on the first anniversary of the closing date. Now, Laboratory Services is headquartered in Costa Mesa, California, and it provides a broad portfolio of different diagnostic tests, which range from drug testing, toxicology, blood work, urine toxicology, along with genetic and disease testing. Laboratory Services has developed a premier reputation for customer service and fast turnaround times in the industry, and they've completed again over 600,000 tests since inception. So this is an extremely complementary acquisition to the existing Avalon portfolio, and I think this is definitely going to be a major catalyst for this organization moving forward. And that's exactly what David Jin, who's the president and CEO of Avalon, goes on to say. This is a transformative acquisition for Avalon as it brings significant revenue and positive cash flow and is expected to be highly accretive to earnings while adding strong clinical synergies to the existing Avalon portfolio. So it gives them financial flexibility and stability, and again complements their existing business. Laboratory Services has an impressive history of growth and is an established leader within the highly fragmented market for lab testing and services. Laboratory Services diagnostic business is highly synergistic with our existing precision companion diagnostic business and cellular technology platforms. So a big congrats to the team at Avalon, and the deal is expected to close within 30 days. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about this deal in a couple of seconds here, but I wanted to jump over to the investor presentation and talk a little bit about the core technology platforms that are already in place at Avalon. So this is going to include their CAR-T technology, which again is that chimeric antigen receptor focused technology, their mRNA-based FASH-CAR platform, and their AVA technology. And you can see they've now added that precision diagnostics and their clinical laboratory services to their overall portfolio. Now this slide here talks about some of the major milestones over the last couple of years. You can see back in December of 2018, this is when Avalon initially uplisted to the NASDAQ, again under the old ticker symbol, which is AVCO. Now in 2020, they completed their first FIH clinical study for their AVA-011 platform and initiated their strategic partnership with MIT, which we've talked about in previous videos, really focused on their QTY-code protein design and their AVA platform. And I should note, FIH clinical study refers to first in human clinical studies. In 2021, they initiated their AVA-001 process development at UPMC and their joint laboratory, which again was set up at UPMC for cell therapy, and their ACTEX platform. And then the big news, again, which came out in November of 2022, we just referenced, was that transformative acquisition of Laboratory Services MSO and the NASDAQ ticker change to the new ticker, which is ALBT. So you can see on the entire history or timeline here, 4 key events, and this acquisition is the most recent in these major milestones. Now, as we continue to move through the updated investor presentation, you can see they talk about this acquisition in a little bit more detail. So a couple of the key things that this enables is accelerating their precision diagnostics related to better, safer future development of cellular therapies. So again, extremely complementary. They now have access to the world's largest clinical outcome database related to BMT and cellular immunotherapies, and large-scale lab testing related to immune system functionality, toxicity monitoring, and immune wellness maintenance. Not to mention the financial benefits, again, of that $25 million annual revenue run rate and net income in excess of $10 million. And this is actually a look at the state-of-the-art testing facility, again located in Costa Mesa, California. Now on the right-hand side here, you can see some of the different testing services that are available. So qualitative drug screening, drug testing, clinical chemistry, COVID-19 or pandemic-related testing, urine wellness testing, and pharmacogenomic or PGX testing. Now, Laboratory Services already has a well-established and sustainable reference lab testing infrastructure and client network, and again, those synergies in both their mission and vision with Avalon in expanding precision diagnostics in the cellular medicine space, immune health, and wellness sectors. And they then go on to talk about some of the financial terms of the deal, which we referenced in that initial article. So again, when we start to think about some of the key differentiators here for Avalon GloboCare, this is now another one to add to the list. So they've already got their broad intellectual property portfolio with their multiplex CAR technology, their QTY protein design, their AVA-001 and AVA-011 technologies. They've got the seamless integration between upstream, midstream, and downstream activities that we talked about in our last video. And they've got those strategic partnerships with some of the most renowned institutes around the world focused on this kind of technology, which again include the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, Arbele Limited, and Hydropeptide. And you can see they then again draw reference to their strong intellectual property portfolio, which is really underpinned by their extensive R&D pipeline. Now, if all of that isn't enough to make you take a second look at Avalon GloboCare, this article here from Biotech stockmarketnews.com lays out some additional bullish points or catalysts that I wanted to quickly touch on or revive from some of our previous videos. So little known biotech cracks the code to mitigate cancer. What would FDA approval mean for the global developer of innovative cell-based technologies and therapeutics, which again is Avalon GloboCare Corp. And you can see the new ticker symbol ALBT. Now the 6 reasons they cite for being so excited about Avalon GloboCare are as follows. So number 1, Avalon just released their new research study applying that artificial intelligence or AI towards their QTY-code technology. So this is a major game changer for this organization, and again, something we talked about at length in our previous videos. The second point, Avalon GloboCare could be one of the most overlooked biotech stocks in 2022, with shares trading in the 52-cent range, and as we saw in the intro, we're now sitting closer to about 37 cents US. The third point, they've jointly filed 16 patent applications and co-invented with key strategic partners, including MIT, which we just looked at. So those critically important partnerships and that vast or robust portfolio of intellectual property. The fourth point, the company is headquartered in a hotbed and breeding ground for successful biotechs. So in this location or area of New Jersey, they've actually seen 70 new FDA drugs be approved between 2020 and 2021. So when you talk about being in the right place at the right time, that's the exact situation Avalon finds himself in. The fifth point here, according to FinViz, Avalon insiders currently own about a third of the company, or 33% of all shares, so high insider ownership percentage. And the sixth point listed here is really in relation to all of the M&A activity we've seen in the CAR-T space over the last couple of years, with huge dollars and blue chip organizations really focusing on this sector and pouring major dollars into companies that are associated with this CAR-T research. So really a laundry list of things to be excited about in relation to Avalon GloboCare. Now, we've referred to this CAR-T technology a number of times throughout today's presentation, so I also wanted to give a quick refresher in terms of what this is all about. So CAR-T again stands for chimeric antigen receptor T cells, and T cells are essentially your body's or your immune system's frontline soldiers to fight against common infections and everyday maladies. However, in some situations, like blood cancer for example, traditional T cells are not able to act effectively against these conditions, and CAR-T therapy works by actually extracting your body's own T cells, again genetically modifying them with a receptor that directly attacks specific types of cancers, and then the cells are actually grown and multiplied in a lab before being reintroduced to the body. So this technology or therapy is a lot of times known as a living cure for some of the world's deadliest diseases, and even in its earliest forms, so not the most advanced forms we're seeing from Avalon GloboCare, it leads to lasting remission rates in excess of 30 to 40% of patients. So that's why I said in the intro, this is absolutely cutting edge technology and exactly why so many companies and investment dollars are flowing into this space. Now on top of that, Avalon also had a major breakthrough in terms of their QTY-code technology, and they're now applying artificial intelligence or AI to actually enhance the protein design for this QTY code. So what this actually enables is a protein design platform that can turn water-insoluble transmembrane receptor proteins into water-soluble proteins, and this enables their use in many clinical applications, including drug development. So really another example of a super exciting breakthrough from Avalon. Now the final point I wanted to mention in today's presentation is really in relation to Avalon's headquarter location, again located in New Jersey here, in what's known as their biotechnology cluster. Now in terms of the M&A activity I referenced earlier, we've seen huge acquisitions in this space over the last couple of years. You can see back in 2018, there was a $9 billion acquisition of Juno Therapeutics. We had a $74 billion acquisition back in 2019 for Celgene. Kite Pharma fetched $11.9 billion. And most recently, we've seen the acquisition of Zyphos Biosciences and its CAR-T technology for $665 million. So this makes Avalon a great potential buyout candidate down the road. And on top of that, you've got that big insider ownership percentage at this organization. So for those reasons, you guys, I'm super excited about Avalon GloboCare. I would definitely encourage you to go in and take a closer look. I'll leave a link to this article in the video description below as well. Let me know your thoughts. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value. So make sure you hit the like button, you guys. If you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts on their acquisition of laboratory services, again, in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.